In this first lesson, let's just take a look at the basics of the Hole Wizard and what it does. Well, first of all, the Hole Wizard is going to interrogate your geometry, and it's going to group all the similar holes together. Let me demonstrate. So this works for wireframe geometry and for solid models. In this first example, just simple wireframe geometry. Within the command manager under your stock toolpaths, you're going to find the Hole Wizard. You just left click there, and as soon as you do that, OneCNC is going to interrogate the geometry, and it's already grouped the like holes together. So if I were to left click here, this is going to be the information for these two holes. If I left click here, see how that highlights? That's the information for the 750 diameter hole, and if I left click there, that's the information for the 2.5 hole. Now you can also click the little plus sign, and that is going to expand this, and this is going to give you the location of those holes. Now typically I don't do that. I just typically will leave that collapse just like that, because usually I want to perform all the machining operations on all the holes. So for this, we're just going to be applying toolpath to the 1/2 inch diameter holes. So we'll click next on that. All right, we're going to talk about this later on. For right now, let's just take a look over here. You've got your rapid plane. That's simply just the Z level the drill is going to move to as it moves from position to position. Plunge clearance, that is the level that the tool is going to retract to if you're doing something like a PEC operation. And then material top, that's just that. It's just the material top, and typically that's going to be 0. So we're going to click next on that. And here you can assign multiple hole operations to this one command. So for example, if I want to pre-drill, I can left click, and if I want to drill, I can left click. If you make a mistake, you can right click, and you can select, for example, let's go with remove drill, and it'll ask me for a confirmation. So it's very easy to undo anything you've done by accident. If you try to execute this command without filling out the parameters for these hole operations, you're going to see something that looks like this. All right, so it just gives us a warning there. So let's fill out the information for pre-drill. You just double click that, and with that you can now fill out the parameters. I'm going to say this is fine, just turret position number 1, spot drill. I'll say the speeds and feeds are fine on this. I'm going to be using a CAN cycle, a G81, so I have machine cycle selected. And then there's my depth at -50 thousandths, and I'm using absolute. So we'll click next on that. And again, we're going to be using G81, so I have that selected, and we'll click finish. And so now that has been filled out, the information for that machining operation. And there's a little preview over here. You can see the little light blue mark there. Now let's fill out the information for drill. So same thing, just double click. And for this tool is going to be in turret position number 2. I'm going to say the speeds and feeds are fine. There's my 1/2 inch diameter. We're going to go a little deeper at -1/2 inch. Absolute, again, a machining cycle. We'll click next on that. This will be a G83 with a PEC amount of 150 thousandths, and then finish. All right, so again, you get the preview, and then when you're done, you just click finished. And then within this one command, it's actually performed 2 machining operations, 2 hole operations. We've spot drilled, and we've also performed the PEC cycle. All right, so if I quickly preview this just to verify that, you just right click and preview toolpath, and there's our spot drill. And then here is our 1/2 inch drill. All right, and I mentioned earlier that this works with solid models. Let me demonstrate that really quick. I won't go through the whole thing, but I just want to show you that it does work. I'm going to just left click all that geometry, right click and pull that down about like that. Let's get rid of the wireframe geometry. So we're going to select all the light blue, click OK, and hit the delete key on the keyboard. All right, so with just a solid model there, you can go back into your stock toolpaths and then select your Hole Wizard. Before I execute the command, let me pan the view over just a little bit. All right, Hole Wizard, and same thing. It's identified those different holes and grouped them together. All right, that's it for the first lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to take a little deeper dive into this. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.